Welcome everybody to another edition of The Hurry Up. I'm your host, Adam. Let's get into this. So, by now, if you haven't lived under a rock, you know the Giants are now 2-7 after a disgustingly bad loss against the Raiders. One that should not have happened or shouldn't have been that much of a blowout. But of course, Daniel Jones, welcome back. Here's a few things I have to say about that. First off, Daniel Jones didn't look good in it coming back as well. I think he rushed back knowing that the season and playoffs are on the line, knowing that there's a lot of quarterback talk going on already. He probably wanted to rush back a little bit, got cleared. Probably should have been shut down a little longer than that. Obviously, he wasn't. Didn't look good in his first couple passes. And then, unfortunately, he injures his knee. So, probably means Daniel Jones is not going to be the starting quarterback next year. Let's be honest, it's November, okay? It takes about a year. Look at Kyler Murray. He got injured later in the season. He's a little less. So I would assume probably mid-October is when you would see Daniel Jones a little early, maybe early October at best. So that means you need another quarterback. Plus, Tyrod Taylor's injured. He's 34 years old. Don't think he's the future. And Tommy DeVito is an undrafted free agent for a reason. This team looks terrible. But let's get past Daniel Jones because he's going to be on IR. We're not going to talk about him at all going forward. So let's talk about Brian Daboll. Got two problems with you, Brian Daboll. One, you're doing a tush push with a guy that has a broken neck or came off a bad neck injury, and you're going to do a tush push? Kind of seems kind of stupid to me. It just seems like dumb, redundant kind of coaching right there. And then the second thing is you're down in the game, right? You score your touchdown and you're going for two. Why? What are you miraculously thinking about? If you score four touchdowns and kick all the extra points, and let's say they don't score a point, you'd win 28-27. I don't understand why you're going for two there. I don't understand your logic and your mathematics. What does it matter? To make it look better? To make it look like we didn't get shut out? You scored a touchdown. One. You scored less. You got blown out by a team that fired their head coach, fired their GM, fired their offensive coordinator, and you still lost. No effort on either side of the ball. I understand when Daniel Jones went down, I guess got deflated, but my God, I am not going to call for your job. But there are many people in this space who are looking for a pound of flesh. I think he's earned the clout to be here an extra year, being that he won Coach of the Year. I don't think Marlon's going to do that to him. He's going to go to Marlon and be like, look, I didn't get my guy. It was a disaster of a year. Let me get next year to get my guys and do the rebuild properly. Because that's what they should have been doing. The problem is they won in the rebuild, which is great. You established yourself as a coach that can win. Now you need to rebuild. And now the problem is you're stuck in this quagmire where you may not have the extra time needed to rebuild because of this 1 year. So they need to tear it down, the Giants. I don't care what anybody says. I don't want to hear about Daniel Jones coming back next year starting quarterback. It's over, okay? Rebuild it the right way. I don't care who comes back. You have 26 guys under contract that are leaving next year. Some of them are on the practice squad. Some of them are on the active roster, okay? Sterling Shepard, what are you still doing here? Bye. See ya. Darius Slate, you're talking to the fans? Dude, you don't do anything. You caught a couple passes? Give me a break. You're the most streakiest, outside of Daniel Jones, you're the second most head-scratching player on the team. Because 1 minute you look like a world beater, the next minute you look like Jane. Look like Tarzan, play like Jane. That's what you look like. You look like Tarzan, you play like Jane. You're so inconsistent. It's not even funny. Paris Campbell, I don't mind, but I don't think he's being utilized properly. Wan'Dale Robinson, great job getting another touchdown, kid. And then Hyatt, get out of your own head, man. You're going to fumble. That's what's going to happen. You need to get out. The body language of this team was not good. I know Barkley's here, and not for nothing, Barkley's trying to motivate these guys. Put the C back on his chest. Obviously wants to be here. Probably going to get franchise tag at best next year. I would not invest money past that. I'd come here to give him a chance with a young quarterback, see what happens, maybe trade off his asset next year. Same thing with Daniel Jones. If Daniel Jones is healthy and someone needs him, you could say, listen, we're going to go with this kid. We're not going to have a winning season. You go to a team like Minnesota, I'm not saying Minnesota, but teams that lose their quarterback like that may need to get somebody, go there. Daboll, you need to step the heck up. Wink Martindale, what happened to your defense, man? This is the game I expected the defense to come out. And now there's finger pointing across the locker room. McKinney's pointing at the coach. The coach is not pointing at nobody. The offense is saying, I don't know what you're talking about. This is an absolute disaster. This is probably rock bottom. This is probably one of the worst coaching seasons I've seen in a long time. In a long time. The Giants have had a lot of losing seasons, but like 2000, this reminds me of 2003, where the wheels just fell off the bus. That was Fossils last year. He got fired. They went for a new coach. I'm not a new quarterback. I don't think that's going to happen this year. It's probably more like a 2017 year where they're probably going to try to keep the guy. But remember, 2017, they fired their GM and their coach at the same time, and the interim coach was there, Steve Spagnuolo. But man, this is tough, man. And not only that, that was towards the end of the year we were terrible, right? This is still halfway through. We still got 8 games left. And up on the docket, an angry Cowboys fans. And trust me when I say this, the Cowboys are coming for blood. They see the next 3 games. They know that they can hang with the Eagles. They know they put up a good performance. They know that they were a couple inches away from either tying that game or winning that game outright. They know it. And they're going to come prepared and correct. Looking at Tommy DeVito, people are calling him Danny DeVito. He might as well hire Danny DeVito to play quarterback. He might act better at playing quarterback than our quarterbacks right now. But Tommy DeVito and company, Matt Barkley and company, listen, they're going to get up for this game. But you know what that defense is doing? It's coming. And that offense isn't going to do much. And if that defense, our defense, the Giants defense, plays like they did against the Raiders, it's going to be another blowout. It's going to be another blowout. And don't get me started. The Commanders are going to look at us too and try to get in the win column. They already know Sam Howell's their guy, and trust me, he's their guy. He's throwing 300 yards against the Eagles. He's throwing another 300 yards against the team they just beat last week. I forget who. I'm drawing a blank on who they played, but last week's game they won. So it is what it is. It is what it is. The Giants are where they are. They have a chance to right the ship. I don't care what people say. I don't care what quarterback you're in love with. Look, Caleb Williams, Drake May, J.J. McCarthy. Get the guy that fits your system and that you want. If you can't get to the top guy, you got to have a plan, right? A, B, C. These are the quarterbacks we like. We like this one. It's got to be like we'll take all of them, but if we can get the best one, we take the best one. Try to get the best one you can get. And then it's up to the coaches to make him and mold this player to be great. Okay? They have the great attributes. Like, that's what Daniel Jones had. That's why people love and salivate over Daniel Jones, because he's 6'5". He can run. He's strong. He's an athlete. But he don't got it between the ears. Okay? And that's the problem. A lot of these guys, McCarthy, can process. I already like that already. Check that box off. We'll work about the physical stuff later. But if he can process, that's what I need. You're looking around these quarterbacks around the league, Zach Wilson, all these bums, and then you got a guy like Sam Howell who's exceeding expectations immensely. And he's doing it on a week-to-week basis, growing immensely. So find a quarterback. I'm not saying draft one in the 5th round, but the first 2 rounds got to be priority. Got to be priority number 1. If you want to stay pat and say, listen, we'll draft Joe Alt in the 1st round, then package your 2 second-round picks and move up and get a guy like J.J. McCarthy, a Bo Nix, and everyone's going to have their flavor of the month. Just enjoy the process. Don't be like, I hate this guy, I hate that guy, you know what I mean? Just enjoy it, because you never know what guy's going to blossom. Just because you like Drake May, let's say he goes to a bad team in a bad situation, and it never amounts to nothing. And then you get J.J. McCarthy, and he's looking dope. So just wanted to get you up on that. Check me out tomorrow, 5:30 with Mac the Giant Fan. We're going to go over all the NFC East games, definitely dive into more of this. And then there's Premium Takes on Friday at 9 o'clock. We're probably going to go over all the stuff and talk to you about the turmoil of the Giants, especially some of the NBA stuff that's going on as well. Brooklyn Nets, hovering around 500, looking okay. So we'll see you very soon. Enjoy.